Supreme Court Landmark Cases, New York Times versus United States, 1971. The case involves the New York Times, Daniel Ellsberg, and the government. It also involves illegally leaked information regarding the Vietnam War. Daniel Ellsberg copied 7,000 documents that revealed the history between the government and the Vietnam War. Ellsberg believed that these documents should be released to the public, so experts were printed on June 13, 1971. It suggested that America's interests were to contain communism. These papers were called the Pentagon Papers and were seen as a threat to national security. The case originated in New York and went directly to the Supreme Court. The Nixon administration was present at this time. They argued that it went against the espionage law, Title 18, Section 793. It is part of the federal law and can be seen in the U.S. Code. The case was argued June 26, 1971. Ellsberg argued the restraint by the government was seen as censorship. This act is unconstitutional. John Mitchell was the Attorney General at the time. Justices Black and Douglas argued that the word security is too vague and should not be used to discredit the First Amendment. The court ruled 6-3 as unconstitutional. Daniel Ellsberg won his case. It was decided June 30, 1971. It is argued, start quote, only a free and unrestrained press can effectively expose deception in the government, in revealing the workings of government that led to the Vietnam War. The newspapers nobly did that which the founders hoped and trusted they would do.
Roger B. Taney was born on March 17, 1777 to Michael and Monica Taney. Taney's father owned a successful tobacco plantation. However, Taney was the second of 6 children, so he knew that he would not inherit the tobacco plantation. So instead, he decided to pursue law at Dickinson College in Pennsylvania. Roger B. Taney studied very hard and began his schooling in 1795 and later graduated in 1799 from Dickinson College. Roger B. Taney was appointed by Andrew Jackson and sworn in on March 28, 1836. The Dred Scott v. Sanford case was a very significant ruling that Roger B. Taney took a part of. This case discussed whether Americans of African descent would be able to obtain American citizenship. Eventually, Robert B. Taney decided that Americans with African descent were not considered American citizens and would never be able to obtain American citizenship. The Abelman v. Booth trial was a discussion about the supremacy of the federal court and law and the Fugitive Slave Act, and whether or not it was constitutional. Eventually, the Supreme Court ruled under Roger B. Taney that state laws could not contradict federal laws and that the Fugitive Slave Act was constitutional. Another significant case under the Roger B. Taney ruling was the Charles River Bridge Company versus the Warren Bridge Company. The Charles River Bridge Company built a bridge and collected tolls as revenue. Later, the Warren Bridge Company built a free bridge nearby, which took away from the profit that the Charles River Bridge Company was making. The Charles River Bridge Company filed a lawsuit against the Warren Bridge Company, but eventually the Warren Bridge Company won the case. After researching Robert B. Taney, I learned some facts that were very interesting to me. Obviously, it was very hard for me to find a picture of Roger B. Taney at 15 years old. However, this was the age that he began college, and he graduated 4 years and was nominated valedictorian by his fellow classmates. After college, Roger B. Taney was accepted into the Bar of Maryland. Imagine being part of the Maryland legislature at just age 19. Roger B. Taney died on October 12, 1864 in Washington, D.C.